One day I'm gonna reach ya, take a plane for many miles. We pretend that time didn't pass us by when we're on Mulholland Drive. I know it won't be long before dawn, gotta be patient for a while. Someday we'll look at stars in this same sky, when I'm on the other side.
Good turnout.
Take me back to the life that we once knew, when the walls weren't closing in like they are now. Cause it's been too many years since California. I wish I could get there, I don't know how. See, one day I'm gonna reach ya, take a plane for many miles. We pretend that time didn't pass us by when we're on Mulholland Drive. I know it won't be long before dawn, gotta be patient for a while. Someday we'll look at stars in the same sky, when I'm on the other side.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in to Talladega Superspeedway. One of our usual stops here tonight. It's the Dash for the Cash, presented by Jimmy Crow Money Racing. Drivers now getting ready for qualifying, and tonight's a pretty big night here on Ghost Racing Network and for Money Racing in general. We got a double header, but I am looking down. Oh my goodness, we have a ton of drivers in the field tonight. Let's see if I can actually get them all. Looks like we got BB in the chat already. How's it going, man? Good to see you in here. Of course, this is going to be our first race. The next one going to be a bigger payout race over in the ISSL iRacing Super Stock League. Make sure you check out that broadcast if you're not in the race or both, as we are riding here. Taking a look at Steve Korsek, currently on track qualifying. Of course, we're broadcasting Dale Cup just last night. One of the coolest series that I've done so far. I was very excited about it. And Steve Korsek, a couple other guys. How about we take a look at Zachary Lima? Birthday boy out here in the Ford truck, going to try to get himself a win. I think he might be getting some help from his teammates tonight with it being his birthday. Let's get the scoring tower up here. See how everybody's doing so far. Nobody has put down a lap just yet. That is why you don't see any names. Just give them another lap here. They'll have it down. I still just cannot get over the amount of people we have in here tonight. Good to see that we're back in the trucks, of course. We've been in the Xfinity last night. Had an interesting race over at Ron Morris in the 2012 Nationwide cars. And I'll tell you what, talk about some interesting, great racing. Those things put on quite a show. It'd be interesting to do a broadcast with those. BB says, good evening, Austin. How's it going, man? How's your evening going? I'm sitting here gearing up for 2 broadcasts. I'm trying to still get everything set up, so I apologize if I still sound a little bit in the weeds, if you will. Looks like Steve Korsek, no surprise, is going to take the top spot. I really need to watch him qualify because he has got it figured out. My goodness. We are going to refresh this a couple times. Once the race starts, that tower will stay nice and pretty, as you see right there. But let's see who else we got on track. Looks like the Groover brothers are back tonight. This was a dangerous duo while they were here. They took a week, maybe 2 weeks off, but good to see them back out here. We'll see what they can do. Mark Von Dell, McCall Motorsports driver. How about Brian Wang? Raymond Ritnar II. Haven't seen him in a while either, but another strong contender. Jason Maines. One of the things that we know on the weekly is that Jimmy Crow lets everyone know, if you don't have what it takes, don't worry about showing up. No iRating cap for this race. That means we are going to be watching the best of the best. So you are in for a treat. Ron Morris Jr., McCall Motorsports driver, owner of RMR, is out here. The 76 machine. Looks like he just finishes his qualifying lap. Trying to see where exactly he got put on the board. Can't see it right yet, but we do have a minute and a half left in qualifying right now. And I'm going to check just a couple things, so I will be right back. You won't hear me for a second, but stay with us. We are back at Talladega Superspeedway. 45 seconds left here in qualifying before we are really going to bring the fireworks to life tonight. I'll tell you what, from what I'm seeing so far, I think we have over 30 drivers, maybe even some more than that. Oh, yeah, no, more than 30. Oh, my goodness, 33, 40. Looks like we might be borderline 40 drivers tonight. These payouts are going to be huge. A lot of times when we advertise that payout on there, in general, it has to scale down. Not going to be the case tonight. Jimmy Crow is going to be putting on quite the race, and we have seen 3 and 4 wide with smaller fields. I can't even begin to think what we're going to see tonight. Larry McDonald looks like he is the last truck sitting out on track right now. But qualifying is all but over. The white flag in the air. That's going to wrap it up. Let's get set, ready to get into your race info and starting grid here in just a moment. Before we do that, we will, of course, let all the drivers line up, get situated. Here we go. We're going to change it up a little bit more tonight, at least for the first race. Let's start with your starting grid tonight, starting on the pole. And it looks like the 1-2 duo, Zach Lima, Steve Korsak, is going to be broken. But either way, your pole sitter still is going to reign. Steve Korsak, he's got a streak going on for these poles. Second is going to be Gabe Butler. Third is going to be Richard Sanchez. Fourth, Cody Nagels. Fifth, Zachary Lima, the birthday boy. Sixth, Vicente Guerrero. Seventh is going to be Raymond Rittenauer the second. Eighth, Seth Groover. Ninth is going to be Kyler Wynn. That's another driver I haven't seen out here in a couple races. He's ready to get his hands on some money tonight. And rounding out row 5 and the top 10 is going to be Matt Lee in the 04. 11th, Matthew Baker. 12th, Ryan Duguette. Is that Duchette? Let's move right on down the field here. Starting 13th is going to be Joe Delavicia. Starting 14th, Daniel Eberhardt III. Good to see Daniel back out here in the money racing. 15th, Ian Martin. Going to be hosting a race after this. 16th, Dude Conrad. Moving down in the field, 17th, Patrick Groover. 18th, Josh Bonwell. 19th, Ron Morris Jr. Rounding out the top 20. It's going to be Jax. Oh, sorry about that. This thing just jumped on me. Let's go back a little bit. Rounding out the top 20 is going to be Jackson Holbrook. 21st, Jeff Merck. 22nd, Ken McCall Jr. 23rd, Nash Brambilla. 24th, Dylan Jones. 25th, Mark Von Dell. 26th, John Ellis Jr. John Mullahan starts 27th. Jason Maines to his outside in 28th. Row 15, Larry McDonald and David Sheets. Those are two McCall Motorsports teammates. 31st is going to be Ambrose Knievel, one of the fan favorites. To his outside is Brian Kaiser in the 35. Moving back down the field, 33rd is going to be Brian Wang. To his outside, Michael Triscaro, PGR owner, Team PGR driver. Jay Dargart starts 35th. Eric Hayden, 36. John Ward starts 37th. To his outside is going to be Keith Horner, which is going to round out for a 38 truck field. I do apologize. I know I said some of those guys' name wrong. Still, the big field tonight. We have a lot of new drivers. Sometimes you get into that starting grid right on the spot. Can't get them all right. How about Steve Korsak? Sits on the pole, driver out of Cleveland, Ohio. Dale Cup founder, one of the founders. They do have 3 founders, or 2 founders. Zachary Lima, the other one, but he's going to be starting on the pole, and he's going to try to hold this entire field at bay. Let's go over your race info so you have some idea here of what we're expecting. It is the Dash for the Cash presented by Jimmy Crow Money Racing. Take a look at that little box there on the right, bottom right, your race format. That's important. NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. It is going to be a 31-lap race, but only 45% fuel. So you better believe pit stops are going to be a factor tonight. Unlimited tires. 1 fast repair fixed setups. And it's something that these guys might have to worry about with the field this big. Only 2 green-white checkers. If this thing starts to get a little messy towards the end, you might want to have that track position. And the best way to get that track position is to have a good, clean pit stop. Come out, get a couple positions on someone. How about Gabe Butler, though? Gets himself up here on the outside row. Beats a lot of these pros. We do have, really, Ryan, for example, because I was just going to say, he's up here beating some of these pros. One of them's right here in the 077. That's Ryan Duchette. Driver the 077. Daniel Eberhardt. Joe Delavicia. And the Yahoo machine. I like that paint scheme. Looks like Baker's mom has joined. It says, good luck, Baker. Matthew Baker, of course, starting in the 12th position. But we are getting ready to roll here. 31 laps. It is going to go by in a hurry, so you got to make your way to the front from the drop of the green. We will talk more about just how big the payouts are going to be towards the end of this thing. But right now, pace car pulls off. Steve Korsak gets it down into second or first gear. We'll see what he decides to do. And we'll see if Zachary Lima, his teammate, can find him. Remember, Richard Sanchez, another one of those Dale Cup drivers, going to be working with him. Green flag is out. We're racing at Talladega. Pretty good, even restart. Nobody making a lot of progress. BC further back. Everybody already dicing around a little bit for position. Into turn 1, though. Steve Korsak still holding the lead. Now Cody Nagels is going to lock right on to the back of the 88 of Gabe Butler. Drivers getting ready to work their way down the backstretch for the first time. Take a look off the nose of Gabe Butler as he gets a big push down the back. Steve Korsak, though, is going to get a bigger push. No 3 wide rule, and you see it there. One of the Groover brothers already jumping out of line. They're both going to link up as soon as they can. Sure enough, that is going to be Seth Groover. His teammate Patrick Groover. Patrick's blowing right by him. Maybe they're going to organize this a little differently. Sure enough, there goes the 01, jumps right up top. But they're back to 2x2 as they all dive into the tribal for the first time. Looks like this first lap is going to be a drag race. See who gets it. It is going to be Steve Korosek. Richard Sanchez, 5/10, just trying to get settled in right now on his bumper. They've got plenty of time where they're at. Get comfortable now, because when it's time to push later, it's time to go. No surprise here to see Daniel Eberhard already jumping up to the top lane in that 90 machine. We know how aggressive he is. Driver who finished second in the podium, 500, wasted no time either. To the outside in the 6 car, and we are 3x3, 8+ rows deep, just like that here at Talladega. Action picking up quick. These guys have got to be a little careful though. One faster pair. There's a lot of trucks in the field tonight. You do not want to get wrecked early, and I think we are going to see people bailing out of this pack pretty quick. But the 14, Vicente Guerrero, still sticking it tough here in the middle, trying to keep the 88 of Gabe Butler out in front. Cody Nagels has a really strong pusher of Daniel Eberhard behind him, and now we see the 88 able to drop low. That opens the middle up to Vicente Guerrero, who we saw win Dale Cups race last night, so he knows how to lead in these trucks. In the legacy trucks, these are different, of course. The Truck Series push a little bit smoother either way, so these guys don't really have to worry about handling as much. Problem is, they get bumped just a little bit offset, just running this tight. These aren't going to work out so well, and if we're seeing 3 wide this early, you know what that means. We're going to see later 4x4 will be throughout the field. It's just a matter of time. I think some of these guys know they're going to have to get through that first pit stop before they choose to get racy. We see sometimes the pit stop really breaks up the field a lot. You have guys just coming a lot faster, guys that are too far behind to get out with the lead pack, and that's just part of the process of these super speedway plate tracks. Part of the thing that makes the racing so great. But how about take a look here further back in the field, hoping these guys keep it all clean. Everybody is on the track. Actually, no, I take that back. We have a couple drivers not on the track. It is going to be John Ward and Keith Homer. Eric Hayden, the last car on track, not with the lead pack right now. He's going to need a caution. Jay Dargert, Ryan Wang, and Larry McDonald, the last 3 in the pack. Let's go up a little bit more towards the middle. And how about this guy right here, Ken McCall Jr. Boy, he had a smoking hot night last night in the money races. Couldn't even count the amount of money he probably went home with yesterday. He's looking to extend that streak, though. Here today, starting with the dash for the cash. Nash Brambilla got himself a win in the ISSL League earlier this week in the street stocks. Very good pusher. See if he can get up there and have a say in who wins this thing. Up front, though, it's still Vicente Guerrero, Cody Nagels, and the 88 on the bottom, Gabe Butler. Kyler Wynn, ooh, he gets turned. It looks like, they're checking up. I don't know if they're all going to be able to hold it together. They're not. Richard Sanchez goes around. We got the 11 up in the wall. Ian Martin's in it. Couple more guys sliding down. And this is a mess further back. We got a bunch of guys still piling in. It looks like Brian Kaiser's in it. Josh Bonwell maybe got some damage. Ken McCall Jr., did he sneak through? Actually, I don't believe it was Josh Bonwell I was looking at. It was a different truck. But either way, let's go take a look at it. These guys got real aggressive early. And you saw a couple people save it, but only so many of them could save it before, unfortunately, one of them did go around. This is going to start all the way up with Vicente Guerrero, who is luckily able to escape any major damage. But let's see what happens here. Looks like he's going to get a bump. Yep, by the 18, trying to come down. We saw him get clear off the bumper of the 82. We'll back this up a little bit more for you here. Watch this. Working their way into turn 1 right here, and he's going to drop low. Ooh, not quite clear. 14 not quite clear. Gets across. Does a good job saving at the 88. Overall able to stay off of him. But then here you see Steve Korsek's going to get checked up. And I want to go to Richard Sanchez because this is where things are really going to start stacking up. Zachary Lima not quite able to check up either. That sends the 510 up into the 8. And now the domino effect just starting to get out of hand. The 510 back down the track after contact with the 8. That sends him down back into Zachary Lima. And then this is where guys just start piling up. The 11 up the track gets into Ian Martin in the 98. 510 still shooting back up the track. He's going to tap the wall. Actually looks like he keeps it off. Then further back, looks like there was a little bit more contact. See Ambrose Kniebel, Larry McDonald up there trying to hold it off any other cars, getting in the wall a little bit. The 27, Brian Kaiser, gets spun. One of these trucks back here, can't tell who that is exactly just yet. Ken McCall Jr. trying to avoid it, has it locked up. Let's see if he can Oh, he's going to make slight contact with the 27. That may not be bad enough to use a fast spare. Mark Vondell down low. Gets into the 11. The 80, Larry McDonald, finally comes to a stop. The rest of these guys are going to sneak through it. I want to see if I can find out who that was that I just saw that didn't look like they really ever slowed down as they were getting through that and got into some contact with some other drivers. So what we're going to do is back this up a little bit more if we can right here. And I'll tell you who this did work out good for. A couple of the guys that didn't make the initial start. Tell you what we'll do. Let's ride on board here with Richard Sanchez. Just see just how quickly things got all stacked up. Just how he had nowhere to go. Looking for him now. Here we go. Let's ride on board. Go back up front. We did have some pit stops. Things did shake up a little bit. Kyler Wynn is your current leader. Second, Cody Nagels. Third, Michael Triscaro. Team PGR drivers out here doing good early. Daniel Eberhardt, the third. Fourth, rounding out the top 5 is going to be Vicente Guerrero, who we saw kind of the initial start of that last wreck. Cleared himself maybe just a little bit too early. Fortunately for him, he didn't wreck, but unfortunately for the rest of the field, they all did get involved in the incident. Pit road's still got a little bit of business going on it. Looks like it's pretty empty right now. Everybody's got back on track. And this shouldn't be a night ender for anyone just yet, because remember, everyone does have a fast spare. Keith Horner still not on the track. Neither is John Ward. Looks like David Sheets sits in pit road. Sean Mullahan also still on pit road. Ian Martin gets that thing back out. It looks like he may have had to use a fast repair. He had a pretty significant amount of damage. All of a sudden, that 98 looks a lot more cleaned up. Let's take a look at the left side. Yep, sure enough. Did use a fast repair, so he's going to have to be careful. Ambrose Knievel saves his fast repair. You see he's got some damage in the back. I don't think that'll affect him too bad. Dylan Jones. Dylan Jones is actually who's in the 11 car tonight. Different paint scheme finally here for the 11. Matches his teammate Daniel Eberhardt's scheme, and I really do like that paint scheme. If anybody decides to come in and top off, they still are not going to be good on fuel. But yep, Dylan Jones, Mark Vondell, Ambrose Knievel, Ken McCall Jr., a couple guys going to come back down top off. Eric Hayden, give him a shout out. One of the drivers that needed a caution got it, and here he is. Currently sitting in the 25th spot, but he's got a lot of laps left. Not a lot of time, even though we say a lot of laps. How about Matt Lee, Mr. Goat in the 04 PRS setups rather, .com machine. Josh Bonwell. He's got a couple Team 3 teammates in the field tonight. And this is a little bit of a more difficult one for me tonight because so many new drivers I just haven't seen before. You know, in a lot of these money races, we see kind of the same guys. You really get used to and a feel for how they all race, the things they're going to do. Not the case tonight, keeping me on my toes. But you already know which paint scheme I'm going to have to pick is my favorite. Michael Triscaro running the Team PGR / Ghost Racing Network paint scheme. You see it right there on the side. Good looking paint scheme there. And we'll see the driver of the 34 can bring it home in victory lane. Kyler Wynn. He's a very aggressive driver. Got to the front. I'm pretty sure he's working with Daniel Eberhardt. But you see their second car on the outside. So somehow they can get linked up. They'll be looking for their third teammate, Dylan Jones. All of a sudden, that's going to be a powerhouse team. Either way, the lights are off on the pace car. That means we're going green this time. Just in case you missed anything, let's run over your first 3 rows one more time. First is going to be Kyler Wynn. Second on the outside, Cody Nagels. Row 2 is going to be Michael Triscaro and Daniel Eberhardt the third. And row 3 is going to be Vicente Guerrero and Patrick Groover. Gabe Butler, Steve Korsek riding on the apron, Seth Groover, Zachary Lima. Look at these two. They have found each other, and I don't think these guys care too much that we just had a caution. I think we're going to see 3x3 here pretty quick. Pace car takes the hard left turn. Flagman has the green flag in hand. We'll watch the drivers this time. Let's ride on board actually with Daniel Eberhardt here for this green flag run. I think he is going to be pushing the daylights out of this outside line. Here we go. Let's see if he can get Cody Nagels to the front. And if he does, what does Cody choose to do with it? Green flag is back out at Talladega. Already doing his bumper in the short chute. It looks like Cody's already clear. That didn't take long. Going to jump right down in front of Kyler Wynn. Not sure if that was maybe planned out at all, but Kyler Wynn's going to gas it up. And I think if he can, he's going to try to jump right in front of his teammate Daniel Eberhardt. Sure enough, there he goes. Side by side down the backstretch. 82 tries to pull a little side draft. Now the 90's locked on. The 34, Michael Triscaro's trying to get there, but I don't think he's going to quite do it in time. The 82 gets clear. Will he try to drop low? Tries to bring his teammate. He can't do it. Has to go low. Oh, they're wrecking out back, it looks like. Or just one guy, excuse me. Didn't mean to get everybody excited. That is going to be Dude Conrad. And he has brought it back down to pit road. This wasn't just recently. We'll check back on that in a second, but I did hear some contact. A little over anxious there for a second. Into the trial with a 3x3. This pack is really, really split up. So something may have happened. We'll try to go take a quick look at it. Don't want to keep everybody from the main action for too long, but let's go look at Dude Conrad here and see if something happens. I'm not sure if this was under the green or under caution. This is under green. Yep. Something happens to him here. 3x3 trying to get situated. Oh, big contact in the middle of the pack. You see it right there. Dude Conrad is going to get the worst of it, though. Big hit on that inside wall. Oh, and gets stuck in it. Nowhere to go. Ah, yellow flag is out. We missed it. Back live. Oh, they're wrecking. Oh, we got one flipping. It's the Yahoo machine. And these guys don't give me a second to look away. Driver's still trying to get through it. I'm trying to figure out exactly what that is. I believe that is Joe Delavicchia, I believe. Sure enough. Let's see what happened to bring out your second yellow here with 21 laps to go. This was a 3-car pack, so I'm not sure if something maybe happened up front. Play the full speed first. Fine. Oh no, they're wrecking. They're already wrecking up front. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's go up to the main pack here and find out where this is all gonna start. My goodness, boy, they got wadded up, didn't they? Here we go. We are gonna have to go all the way up. Maybe let's try Jason Maines here. Looked like he was somewhere in the middle of this. And what I want to do, and by the way, that was not Joe that was in that. That was Richard Sanchez. They both have matching cars. Let's take a look at it from the chopper view here. See where the initial contact takes place. That's Seth Groover pushing on Jason Maines. Oh, gets like 4 wide for a second. It looks like he's going to try to stick it to 4 wide. Oh, but then turns back up. Oh, just hooks the 38 of Jason Maines. That sends Jason into the 77, Ryan Deschette. And then from there on, the wreck begins. Here we go. Look at these guys piling in. Richard Sanchez. Wow, looks like Patrick Groover maybe snuck through the majority, or Seth Groover rather, may have snuck through the majority of it. The 510 gets tipped over on his lid. Here he goes. Starts flipping pretty wildly into turn 3. Let's zoom the camera out just a little bit. You can see the amount of guys in it. And I'll tell you what, all things considered, for as big of a field as we have tonight, I know a lot of these guys got in the initial contact, but they did a pretty good job avoiding the brunt of it. But Richard Sanchez with a rough night early, he may be done after using a fast pair in that first wreck. Now getting involved in the second wreck. You see Dylan Jones arriving on the scene there. So does Ambrose Knebel and a couple of these other guys. Let's ride on board, though, here real quick with Richard Sanchez. Get a nice little view of what he saw as that thing got upside down. Here we go. This is on board with the 510 machine. So Richard Sanchez goes for a wild ride here early at Talladega. We'll be right back. Stick with us. We are back live at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway, getting ready for another green flag here in the Jimmy Crow Dash for the Cash Money Racing Series. Been a pretty aggressive race so far. Haven't seen a long green flag run, but I will say drivers still not good to go the rest of the way on fuel, so we are still going to see a pit stop in play as of currently. Looks like Duck Duck has joined the chat. Says hello, Austin, everyone. How's it going, Duck Duck? Good to see you in here. Got a big night of racing tonight here, doubleheader on Ghost Racing Network. And I'll tell you what, I forgot to roll there, and we'll roll it real quick before these guys go back green right after this event. Actually, the stream should be going up at 9:25, I believe, and it's going to be the iRacing Superstock League, hosted by Ian Martin, and that is a big money race. We're talking over $1,000 worth of payout. Make sure you go check that out, whether you're going to be a driver in it or just watching it. It's going to be a good one for sure. Might have a little bit of a tough time, though, topping this race we're watching so far tonight because we had a 38-car field to start this thing. Fortunately, a couple of those drivers weren't quite able to make it out on track, that being Keith Horner and John Ward. It looks like Dude Conrad, who we saw involved in that incident before the caution came out, currently sitting a lap down, only car lap down. So he could be getting his lap back here depending on if we get another caution. But it is going to be 18 laps to go when we take the green. Two teammates lined up on the front row. They're going to be hard to pass unless they want to try a third lane. Daniel Eberhardt starting first. Kyler Wynn second. Patrick Gruber third. Cody Nagels fourth. And Vicente Guerrero rounding out the top five. Look a little further back. Steve Korsek, I thought him, one of his best buddies in the super speedway racing. Zachary Lima, we're going to link up. Unfortunately, though, Zach was involved in that last wreck, and I don't think he's looking too great right now. No, you see it right there, the Ford truck. Pretty significant damage on the right side and the right rear. He doesn't have a fast repair left either, I don't believe. But we are ready to go green. Pace car pulls off. Daniel Eberhardt's got the field behind him, and he is going to be doing a lot of driving with that rear view mirror. We'll see. Patrick Gruber can push him out in front. Green flag back out. 18 laps to go in the Dash for the Cash. Pretty big jump from the inside line. I thought maybe Daniel Eberhardt would think about getting in front of his teammate. Doesn't yet, as Patrick Gruber is pushing the daylights out of the 90 right now. We'll see if the top lane can get a run. Everybody in this top five very qualified to be one of the top pushers at these super speedways. But I'll tell you what, Patrick Gruber, I think, wants it a little bit more than some of these guys right now. Him and Daniel Eberhardt, they haven't been around for a little while, and they're back. They're hoping these guys didn't forget just how dangerous they are at these super speedways. And I wonder if we'll see everybody decide to pit early or if they want to pit late at this point. Does everyone calm down, or do we see the racing go three wide immediately? I'll tell you what, it looks like Josh Bonwell on the 56 is trying to get that third lane going further back. He is going to get some help from Matt Lee right now. And it looks like there might be Matthew Baker as well. Nope. Sorry, Brian Kaiser. Caution is back out. Looks like Aaron Hayden may have been involved in an incident. Sure enough, sliding across the grass in that 100 machine. Gets it rolling now. Makes a lot more work for the lawn workers on Monday, but either way, keeps that car from getting any major damage. It does look like it got a couple bumps and bruises, though, so we'll see where those came from. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. Believe this is where it's going to start, but this is where we're going to look at first to find out if it is indeed where it starts. Oh, no. Boy, that was pretty sudden, wasn't it? Here we go. Let's see if the 100 was washing up or if the 8 was coming down. From this view, the 100 seems to be holding a pretty steady line. Oh, it looks like the 8's turning down. Just absolutely hooks him in the right rear. This sends the 100 around, almost gets him flipped. It's a pretty big shot into the right side. Not sure what that was all about. Maybe thought, let's take a view at it from a different angle because we usually don't see guys misjudge it that badly. And I could be wrong, so let's take one more view at it here. The 100's coming up a little bit. Now he's starting to go back down. And then the 8 just right down into the right rear. Pretty cut and dry right there. That is going to be Dude Conrad. And that cleans up the 100 pretty quick. And I'll tell you what, That might be a faster pair for the 100 of Eric Hayden. Let's take one more ride on board here with Dude to see if maybe we can get any more insight into what just happened here. Because it's got me a little confused. Adam forward. He's trying to get a side draft. Ooh, I think he was trying to tuck in line. Maybe just misjudged it a little bit. Either way, it sends 100 around, brings out the third caution of the night. Big field, and I know a lot of these guys probably a little upset about that caution coming out, especially with it only being the one truck that went around. But now we're going to see a lot of pit stops because now you should be able to make it the rest of the way as long as you are smart on fuel. I think we'll see a little bit more caution so it's not over. But how about Nash Brambilla leading the field? Up 22 spots right now from where he started. John Ellis Jr., we haven't said anything about him, but here he is also going to be in that front row. Currently up 25 positions. And then we're going to go back. Kyler Wynn third, Daniel Eberhardt fourth. Patrick Groover currently rounding out the top 5, and Cody Nagel's just sitting outside in 6th. You know what I want to do real quick? Let's take a look. This last yellow flag, actually just before this last yellow flag came all the way out. And that's what we're looking for right here. Oh, it looks like Kyler Wynn stopped on track. I think he's okay. He was just checking something. Yep, that's what it looks like because you see he's able to get it back rolling. Waiting on the pace car, sure enough, so no issue there. What I really wanted to look at here, and I'm looking for it, was show everybody something about the last caution that happened. Dude Conrad was involved in it here in the 8 machine. This did not bring out the caution. This initially gave Dude the amount of damage he had. Right there, got hooked. Looked like he was maybe going to hold on to it. Unfortunately, though, Zachary Lima was also trying to get through it. Big hit. And the reason I bring this up, if you're curious, is just because I don't think that 8 necessarily has another fast boost. So maybe he'd be playing a little bit more careful there. Of course, he did not get the worst damage out of that incident that just brought out the caution. Either way, it's over and done now. We'll see what happens with those two the rest of the race. But we only have 2 trucks out of the race, and that's because they didn't start it. 1 truck currently a lap down. Not too bad when you consider a 38 truck field, which is one of the bigger fields I've broadcasted in a little while. We'll see if we can continue the momentum tonight. Hope everybody back home is enjoying. Thank you for choosing Ghost Racing Network. I do feel like been a little bit, I don't know if I've been half awake or what today, but trying to get it together here. I need to take myself an energy drink or something, but appreciate everybody being out here with me. John Ellis Jr., we'll see if he can hold the field off. Nash Brambilla, I think these guys thinking we're going to have another caution, so they want that track position. We'll see if it pays off. But Kyler Wynn, Cody Nagels, Daniel Eberhardt, they are all going to be trying to get back to the front as quick as they can. I think Daniel Eberhardt isn't really thinking too much about pushing this 18 for very long. He's going to be looking to get up to that 3rd lane as soon as he can. And we'll see if the 21 can do anything about it. Putting up a poll for everybody real quick. There we go. Let's see what you guys think about it. I think if I had to put a vote, I'm going to say no, but we'll see. How about some of these big hitters that we see in some of the other leagues out here tonight? Matt Lee, let's take a look at a couple of these smaller teams. I know we saw Jason Maines and Matthew Baker. We did not see Garrett Maines out here tonight. But Matthew Baker currently sits 31st, down 20 spots from where he qualified. I think at where he's at now, there's a chance maybe he sits back here just for a couple laps to see if things get a little too dicey for his liking. Ambrose Kniebel. Jason Maines, that's one of his teammates, not too far in front, so if they need to link up and go, they'll be able to. Ken McCall Jr., another veteran in these money races. Ian Martin, Ron Morris Jr., Zachary Lima. But they have a lot of cars in front of us. Emery Time says, what's up, boys? How is it going? Emery, good to see you in here. Says, hope the race and broadcast are going good. Well, I'll tell you what, the race going good for some of these guys. Maybe not so well for others. Broadcast seems to be good as always. Looking to get a little bit more energy up here before we get started for this second race. I don't think I was quite as ready for the amount of action that we have had going on so far tonight. All over the field. We need more camera angles. Either way, though, can the 21, John Ellis Jr., hold him at bay for 15 laps? We're about to find out. Green flag back out at Talladega. Pretty even restart. How long will the 90 sit in line behind the 18? I think maybe he tries to push him down the backstretch this first time. Because if he can get him clear, that's going to put him in a better position than having to go 3 wide. Sure enough, it looks like he stays for now. Who will Cody Nagels choose to go with? How about the 88? Will any of them go in that third lane, or do they try to stay behind NASCAR and Villa? Cody Nagels jumps to the point. Kyler Wynn. Oh, these guys are everywhere trying to keep it together. We got a couple off. Looks like the 14 Guerrero went out, but everyone gets back in line. The person who did not benefit out of that, though, is NASCAR and Villa. Got shuffled out to that third line. He has fallen back. Seth Gruber going to be the first truck to him, but it's going to be way too late by the time he gets there. The 21 on the other side of that is still out in front on the bottom. Kyler Wynn made an aggressive move to get in front of his teammate. And now the 82 and the 90 linked up, but on the bottom, Patrick Gruber is trying to keep this 21 out in front. Further back, Matt Lee jumps to the third lane. He's going to get a teammate and Brian Kaiser behind him. Steve Korsek still sitting on the low lane. 11, Dylan Jones getting closer to his teammates. Wasn't able to block this run, though, coming from the third line. And I'll tell you what, I think some of these guys, especially on this bottom lane, maybe not what I think they're going to think. Oh, he tries to throw a block on the top. Oh, my goodness, that got really close between John Ellis. It looks like everybody avoids contact, but now we got one off. Coming back up. Oh, these guys not going to be able to save it. More contact. Here we go. They're all piling up.
Yellow flag is out.
Yellow flag is back out. John Mullihan's in it. Patrick Gruber's in it. The rest of the field's trying to get slowed up. Everybody slides down to the apron. The rest of them aren't going to be able to escape and get by. Before that happened, I was going to say, I think if these guys get impatient, they're going to try to push some of these trucks right out of the way, such as the 21. But I think the 21 may have got out of the way just in time. I'm not sure if he ended up getting involved in it or not. But let's see what happened as a couple people had went off. I thought they were going to do it. They did a good job initially of keeping it together, but when you have this many trucks all looking for that many spots, this few laps to go, this is what's going to happen. And actually, we need to back this up even further because this is going to start coming out of the turn here. I'm not sure if the 21 maybe lost some help, was trying to get some. Let's see if we can see it here. The 21 sees a big run coming from the 82, and it looks like, yep, by himself. He's going to try to jump up to block it initially. Or maybe he just wanted to get out of the way, actually, because he just jumped straight up to that third lane. Spent no time, or sorry, wasted no time trying to block that middle. And I think that was a smart choice because Kyler Wynn was going to push the daylights out of him, and I don't know if he was going to be able to handle it. But here's where we're going to have some things go wrong. I think the 14, yep, you see it right here. It's going to get offset on Patrick Gruber's bumper. Actually, was this net code potentially? You saw from this view, it didn't even look like they were quite attached. Oh, nope, sure enough, there was. The 14 was able to bump him, hit him in the wrong side. See what Patrick does a nice job, but he knows he needs to get back up here. He's got to stay in the draft. Maybe comes up just a little too aggressive, though, unfortunately. Steve, that sends, yeah, you hate to see that. That sends Vicente Guerrero up trying to dodge him. Steve Korsek not able to check up the 88, also gets up the track, and then it's on from here. You see the effect. All these guys going to start piling up. Patrick Gruber gets into, Steve Korsek's and Josh Bonwell. Can't tell if that's a Daniel Eberhardt or a different truck. I don't think that is Daniel. I think he got through it. But then a lot of these guys just know where to go. The second pack right here is going to arrive. Most of these drivers were able to get slowed down and get through it in time. But we have seen a couple big ones tonight, so if any of these by chance weren't considered the big one, well, I don't know what's going to be. Patrick Gruber working his way out of pit road. Let's go back up front. Kyler Wynn currently leading. Daniel Eberhardt second. Cody Nagels third. John Ellis fourth. And Ken McCall Jr. rounding out the top 5. So he's made his way up here. And we saw this last night. He's waiting around in the back. It's a veteran move. He knows he doesn't need to be in the front until it's time to go. Now it is time to go with 11 laps to go. Going to be even less, probably under 10 to go once we go green. And Ken McCall Jr. maybe doesn't have as many teammates up here as he wants right now, but he's still going to be going for it no matter what. Zachary Lima has made his way back up here, and I'll tell you what, I don't know if he used optional or what, but it looks like the damage out of that Ford truck has been buffed all the way out just about. Actually, I take that back. You see some on the right front. So it looks like he may have just repaired it optionally. Karen Gruber says, thanks for the broadcast, enjoying the race. Absolutely, glad you like it. Robert Miller says, let's go McCall Motorsports. Well, you got one driver right now in the top 5. Couple more looking for David Sheets back in 13th. I think those are currently, oh no, Mark Vondell. How about the run here from Mark? Just outside the top 10 right now in 11th. He's got a damaged Matthew Baker to his outside. Damage for Baker shouldn't be too bad, especially in the draft. Does scuff up that nice looking coasting Thunder paint scheme though a little bit. And we should be getting the one to go this time. Go back in the pack, see how some of these guys that had issues earlier were doing. John Ward, Keith Horner didn't make the race. John Mulhan is still sitting on pit road. That 20 machine is very banged up. His night might be over. Dude Conrad back out on track. His truck mostly clean after an incident earlier. Ian Martin in pit road. Richard Sanchez had a rough night, still trying to recover. Jackson Holbrook, Seth Groover, Nash Brambilla, Dylan Jones, Vicente Guerrero. Oh, wow, did Dylan? Yep, Dylan Jones' truck's pretty beat up on the left side. I think he does still have a fast pair, though, and he might save it. One of the perks of when you save that fast pair with... I'm trying to think how I want to explain this. If you have... So let's put it this way, right? You have damage. And if you're just sitting out there riding around with your damage, might as well take your fast pair. But if you keep that damage, you can get a lot more aggressive because you know in the back of your mind, if you wreck, that truck was already damaged anyway. Then you can go in, take your fast repair, do it all over again. These two teammates, we'll see if they try to maybe think about coordinating a restart or not. Before we go green, let's remind you one more time, so it looks like we do have a couple more people in the chat and in the broadcast now right after this. Well, not quite right after this, but not too long after. The iRacing Superstock League is hosting a huge money race. It's going to be a $35 entry, $750 to win. You are not going to want to miss it, whether you are a driver or somebody watching. It is going to be a good one for sure. That broadcast will start at 9:25. Qualifying starts at 9:30. It will be heat races for the qualifying. And that's going to be exciting. Remember, only 30 drivers will make the feature for that race. We'll have more on that as we get closer. But first, we got a lot of money to be settled right here tonight. And actually, I'm going to see if I can find and go over the payouts for everyone here right now. We are checking it real quick. No, it was big payouts initially. So look at it this way. The payouts were based off of 43 drivers. We got 38. So let's just say we decide to scale that real quick, just out of curiosity. And that means the winner tonight would be going home with at least $309. And the rest of the payouts will scale. So that's a lot of money to go home first place. For only what was a $20 or $25 entry, these guys going to be going crazy for it. You can forget about your teammates late in this thing. Unless you're split the money, everybody's going to want it. We did put up a poll if we go green the rest of the way. That didn't happen, so the answers don't really matter. 75% of you did say no, so good job on that one. Let's get back to the action, though. Trackside, Kyler Wynn, Daniel Eberhard on the front row, Cody Nagels, and John Ellis, who stayed out. Looks like he was the big beneficiary of it. Leading the field to green, though. Kyler Wynn rolls into the Geico restart zone. Could be the last restart. Green flag is out. Ooh, big stack ups further back. I can see it on the right side of the screen. We'll go to a wider view. Looks like everybody able to get situated, though. Field further back. Looks like a hornet's nest. Nobody able to get tucked in line. They're going to have to catch this pack. Cody Nagels, though, on the other hand, he looks very organized on the back bumper of Kyler Wynn. Going to get him clear, but I think Kyler is going to make sure that 6 has no chance of jumping to the outside lane. They're going to have to watch out up top, though. That looks like Jay Dargert trying to make it 3 wide. I thought he'd get some help from Jeff Merck. Jeff Merck thinks twice about it, jumps back in line, right behind Ken McCall Jr. And we know Ken's trying to go to the front in these all the time. I think he might be the first one to really get that 3 wide lane going. 9 laps to go. We are not going to see the desperation 4 wide just yet. But as the action continues to pick up, people get more and more desperate as each lap counts down. I think we will see it now. Jeff Merck jumps to the outside of Ken McCall Jr. Matthew Baker follows him. The 88 and the Yahoo machine, the 052. That's Joe. They're all trying to get to the front. Can they do it? 8 laps to go here at Talladega. Still 3 by 3, 5 rows deep. All of a sudden, though, this bottom is broken up. The 4 Zachary Lima, I think they're backing out. We see sometimes with these professional guys, they know if you get bottled up on that bottom, there's nowhere to go. You might as well go back out of it, try to get to a different lane. But he's going to get a push from Patrick Gruber up front, though. Your current top 3 are going to be Daniel Eberhard at the 21. John Ellis jumps low. Will Daniel Eberhard try to throw a block? Oh, there's a little bit of bumping and banging up front. Jeff Merck up top. John Ellis, what a power move. Takes the lead on the bottom lane. We'll see if everybody can hold it clean. Kyler Wynn's going to push the issue, takes it 4 wide. Cody Nagels is going to follow. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold it together. In the trial of a 4x4, John Ellis falling back in a hurry. This puts Daniel Eberhardt out in charge. Ken McCall Jr. is going to jump in front, tries to clear himself further back. It looks like they're wrecking. Sure enough, they are. No caution, though, just yet. Steve Korsek's in it. Those 6, David Sheets. Now the yellow flag flies. And I think oh, they are wrecking up front. Oh, my goodness. The 90, Daniel Eberhardt. Big hits. A lot of these guys in it. And I think I know where this one may have stemmed from. Oh, they are still wrecking. Joe Delavicia took a couple hard shots there. And wow, we are going to have a couple things to look at here. Let's start where this initially started, which wasn't where you might have thought. This is going to be further back than this. With some of the guys that were back of the pack here, it looks like Steve Korsek was involved, so that's who we'll take a ride with, or at least we'll get the camera to. And this is the incident. It's going to be him and David Sheets that end up being into it. So you see it here. I mean, they're just 4 wide. It's just a mess. Not really a lot of places for these guys to go. You see John Ellis on the bottom, Zachary Lima here. Oh, and let's see who this is, just to make sure I don't accidentally misspeak. I believe it's going to be David Sheets. Just barely moves down. Nothing wrong, but maybe didn't realize they were 4 wide. Either way, once him and Lima make contact, it's over. They get into it, and from there, they just all start piling in back here. They were able to keep it up in the wall, but only for so long. You got big over 30-degree banking here at Talladega. Those trucks going to slide down sooner or later. And sure enough, they slide down the track. But then up front, we had another incident, which is what I want to look at next. And this is going to also kind of start back here-ish. And I kind of felt like maybe this started with Ken McCall Jr. Ken knows he doesn't have any teammates up here. Tried to throw a block. Couldn't tell initially how late the block was. Knows he's got to get in front of Daniel Eberhardt here. Let's take a look at exactly how close this was and if he had clearing room or not. We're right on board with the nose of Kyler Wynn. Should give us a pretty good view of it. You see Ken McCall Jr. is pushing. He's trying to creep. He's trying to get clear. Looks like maybe not quite clear. And Kyler Wynn, that pushes him below the apron. Further back they wreck, but I think maybe they all figured out how to get it sorted back out. Kyler Wynn, nice job. Keeping it. Ken probably thought he was clear. Probably was saying, hey, Kyler, my bad, man. Just trying to get down. I knew it was go time. Kyler Wynn, though, is able to. Everybody stays safe right here. 82 gets back, so now they're 4 wide up front. The 77 is going to try to help Ken McCall Jr. 82, Kyler Wynn just taps the apron. And the 6, Cody Nagels, shoots up into Ken McCall Jr. That shoots him into Jason Maines, up into Jeff Merck. Daniel Eberhardt gets spun. And this is where the front of the field starts wadding up out of turn 2. And this wreck continued for a while, all the way to about halfway down the backstretch. These guys took some big hits. Matthew Baker looks like he was involved. Zachary Lima, Daniel Eberhardt has pretty bad damage. Jason Maines gets it spun back around. And there's the contact with Joe Delavicia that sends him back around. Go back up front. Boy, that one was a lot to gather up, wasn't it? We had a couple different incidents there. Caution didn't come out initially for the David Sheets incident, or the David Sheets and Steve Korsek incident. And the unfortunate part about it is I think if it comes out for that, maybe we avoid that wreck up front. Cody Nagels just got a little bit off the bottom, but when you're 4 wide, that's all it takes. And it seems like in a lot of these races, we see these guys go 4 wide. You can tell if it's like, it's almost like a rhythm thing. I don't know the way I'd describe it the best, but these guys will kind of get 4 wide nice and slow. They'll start 3, and it looks like they're meant to be. When they don't look like they're meant to be 4 wide, like that case right there, it doesn't go so well. Everybody knows they're 4 wide. We usually can hold it. These guys are all very talented drivers, but when they don't really know that they're 4 wide, the spotter can't relay it in time. Contact pursues, and sure enough, can bring out a caution. But now, pace car light should go off this time. It is going to give us a 3-lap restart. Fuel no longer a factor, neither is tires. The only people you see on pit road are the guys with damage, or the guys in the absolute back. And it's a pretty busy place right now. A lot of people had to take their fast spare in the earlier wrecks. Patrick Groover, looks like his truck's clean. He might be able to get back out here with a chance. Ian Martin looks pretty good. Matt Lee has some damage. Zachary Lima, been a rough day. Not a good way to start your birthday, but we'll see if he can get it back in the later race. Jason Main still sits on pit road. Steve Korosek has damage. The 06 David Sheets looks like he may have had a... Nope, doesn't. That truck's got some damage, and Matthew Baker is all banged up as well. Those are guys just outside your top 20. The further back you go, the more beat up the trucks get. Let's talk about your top 5, though, because anyone in it's going to have a chance to win it and go home with over $300 here at the end of this thing. Kyler Wynn first, Cody Nagel second, Ryan Deschette third, Michael Triscaro fourth, and Raymond Rittenard the second. Round out the top 5. He's got some damage to the back. I don't think it's going to affect him, especially with the mindset everybody's probably got at the moment, and that's going to be checkers or wreckers. Going to be coming home with the big paycheck and the checkered flag or the steering wheel. How about Ron Morris Jr. squeaking his way up into the top 10, looking to help his teammate, who was in the top 5. Unfortunately, Ken McCall Jr. did have to pit for the damage, falling back quite a bit now. And he's going to have a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to try to get back to the front. If you are just tuning in, get situated, get comfortable. It is going to be a crazy 3 laps. I don't know if we'll make it to the white flag, but if we do, then we will end this thing under green. I want to thank everybody for coming out. You are watching the Green Ghost on Ghost Racing Network. I'll tell you what we'll do for this restart. I like that camera we rolled with last time. Let's do it again. TV3. Kyler Wynn is going to have to do a lot of blocking here if he wants to hold them all off. He lost his teammate help and Daniel Eberhard, who was involved in that wreck. Dylan Jones, another guy he's working with currently in 8th, but that's a little too far back to be relying on it. Matter of fact, let's see where Daniel Eberhard ended up falling back to. Looks like he is currently sitting in 24th. He's going to need another caution, but I can guarantee you he will be one of those first trucks you see up in that 3rd lane. It is go time. We will find out who's coming home with the big paycheck tonight. Baker's mom says thanks for putting on the broadcast. Absolutely glad to see you here. Glad you're appreciating it. Kyler Wynn also has a little bit of damage now in that right rear. Didn't notice that till just now. We'll see if it affects him. We'll see how the rest of the field stacks up. 3 laps to go in the dash for the cash presented by Jimmy Crow Money Racing. Green flag is back out one more time here at Talladega. Michael Triscaro did not get a good jump. That's really going to hurt Cody Nagels. The 77, on the other hand, is trying to get clear. We see Ken McCall Jr. trying to jump up to the top lane further back. And they are 3 wide. If they wad up out back, we're probably going to miss it because the battle's up front. Kyler Wynn holding the lead, but now Cody Nagels trying to hold on. He's going to need a push, but it looks like the 77 is going to jump up. Kyler Wynn not able to block in time. He is going to have to wait for help from the 87 up top. Here comes Vicente Guerrero and Nash Brambilla. The 77 takes the lead. Will he decide to drop low? Cody Nagels gave him a push all the way to the front. Looks like he sticks the middle right now. This might cause a little bit of a traffic jam. Oh, they're pushed in the corner. Somehow they keep together, but Michael Triscaro gets on the back bumper of Cody Nagels. Everybody pushing for every position. There is no give and take right now. Further back, guys still shuffle around. Kyler Wynn takes the lead again, but the 77's trying to side draft and fight back. Cody Nagels has found his bumper just again. The damage on the 6 not mattering now. The outside, the 14, the 18. Ken McCall Jr. has also tagged onto the back of this pack. And we will see just how long before this middle and top lane can get it going. Raymond Rittenard the second has found a rhythm on the back bumper of Kyler Wynn. They are really pushing hard out back, though. I don't know if they're going to be able to make it all the way. If we take the white flag, though, this time it will be no more cautions. Field roaring down into turn 3 up top. Now has the momentum. Will the 77 think about dropping low? Vicente Guerrero, what can he do from that 3rd lane? And if you are anywhere in the middle of this, you are where you are right now. You better hold a tight wheel. Hope you can miss a wreck if it happens. Into the trial. Now they go 4 wide. Into the trial. We got one in the grass. Can they hold it together? They seem to for the moment. White flag is in the air one more time around. Remember, no more cautions. Now it's all about who can get back here first. Cody Nagels drops 3 lanes. He gets to the bottom. The 77 still holds the middle. And Kyler Wynn is getting really aggressive on the back of the 6. He knows that's what he's going to have to do to have a chance at it. Michael Triscaro pushing hard on the 77 up top. It's Nash Brambilla and Vicente Guerrero. Oh, they're wrecking out back. Oh, the 21 looks like he got up and over. Kyler Wynn's in it. The whole field is in it. This is going to be a race now between these top 5, but it's not over just yet. Cody Nagels might have to drop back, but up front it's the 77 and the 14. Michael Triscaro might even have a shot at doing it. When does he decide to make the move? He's got a chance at it now, but he's got to do it before he gets unclear. The 14 side drafts, he gets back to him. Here comes Vicente Guerrero with Nash Brambilla. It's not going to be enough. At the line, Ryan Deschette wins it. Boy, that was a crazy last lap of the 77. He held him off, stayed in the middle for a while. What a win from the 77 in dominating fashion. We didn't see him up front too much, but he is going to be thanking Michael Triscaro on that one. What a push. I'll tell you what I just realized. My mic was muted. Hopefully that wasn't for too long. If it was, I apologize. Just remember to let me know. I'll have to check after the broadcast. Either way, though, we are going to go get interviews from your top 5, or top 3, rather, excuse me. We'll be right back. And while we will wait for your top 3 to get in here, let's go over your finishing results for tonight. Ryan Deschette finishes first. Second, Michael Triscaro. Third is going to be Vicente Guerrero. Fourth, Cody Nagels, rounding out the top 5 in the last money spot. Very impressive run from Jackson Holbrook. 6th, Nash Brambilla. 7th, Dylan Jones. 8th, Gabe Butler. 9th, Mark Vondell. 10th is going to be Brian Wang. 11th, Brian Kaiser. 12th, Eric Hayden. 13th, Josh Bonwell. 14th, Kyler Wynn. 15th, Raymond Ritnar II. 16th, David Sheets. Ambrose Kniebel. 17th, Richard Sanchez. 18th, moving down the field. 19th is going to be John Ellis. 20th, Ken McCall Jr. 21st, Larry McDonald. 22nd, Steve Korsek. 23rd, Daniel Eberhardt. 24th, Seth Groover. 25th is going to be Joe Delavicia. 26th, Ron Morris Jr. 27th, Jay Dargert. 28th, Dude Conrad. 29th, Ian Martin. 30th, Jason Maines. 31st, Matthew Baker. 32nd, Jeff Merck. 33rd, Zachary Lima. 34th, Patrick Groover. 35th, Matt Lee. 36th, John Mullahan. And 37th and 38th are going to be the 2 drivers that did not make the start of the race. And that is going to be John Ward, Keith Horner. Just going to put this down and bring it back up here. We'll leave it sitting around for everybody. Let's go back up to the top. We are still waiting for your top 3 to arrive in the booth. And we will try to get interviews with them as we always do. And I'll tell you what, if anybody's in the chat right now while we're waiting, let me know if my mic was muted there for the last couple laps. Couldn't tell if that was at the end that I muted or before. I'm sure hoping it wasn't at the end, but if it was, certainly apologize for that. We do have one of your top 3 in here, but while we are waiting for the other 2, let's take a look real quick back at that last lap because it was kind of wild. See where everything starts here and how it all finishes. And this was the checkered flag after all the wreck. And that was one of your top 3, Michael Triscaro. So we will be talking to him in just a minute. But let's see here. Take a look at this because this is going to start on the backstretch where we had a huge wreck. And that took a lot of these guys out of it. Let's see if we can view this from where this is going to start. I know Kyler Wynn was in it, so maybe we'll take a look at him. Here we go. It says I was muted post checker and I was good. All right, thank you guys. Good. I got a little worried about it for a second. You see the 21, some contact may be made from behind. Either way, that sends it back down into Kyler Wynn, and then from here they just start piling up. The 21 almost gets up and over, lands back down. Kyler Wynn up into Ken McCall Jr., who probably thought maybe he'd sneak by, and then after that, out back, they just start piling up. Last lap, especially in a simulator, everybody is full throttle. You are not letting off. You're trying to get through that wreck and get the best finishing spot you can. But then after this is where the race for the win is still on. They were 2x2. I thought maybe that outside line would have a chance. But I'll tell you what, when they dropped down, Michael Triscaro was like super glued to the bumper of the 77. Ryan maybe thinking he was going to make a move on him. He didn't, though. The 34 was able to stay tucked in. I think that's partially because the 14 got to him. Tried to get a side draft, and if they had a little bit more room, maybe we see a run from that outside. Either way, though, the 77 brings it home. Let's take a look just how close it was. Margin of victory was 7/100ths of a second. You see it right there, about truck and a half. Good win for the 77. Let's see if we now have your top three. Looks like Vicente Guerrero is sitting in Team 1. We'll drag him in here because that is going to be who we will talk to first. Your third place finisher, Vicente Guerrero. Vicente, you got a copy. We will give him just a second here. Give him a chance. Might still be plugging in his microphone. Actually, I'll tell you what. I bet they can't hear me because I am muted. So here we go. Let's talk to your third place finisher, Vicente Guerrero. Vicente, you got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. Well, it wasn't the win, but either way, with this big of a field, it's going to be a lot of money tonight. You come home third. What did you need there in the trial to maybe have a chance at stealing the win from the 77?
Well, I should have came down a little bit earlier to side draft a little bit and maybe a tighter push. But overall, I'm happy. I'll take third.
Well, you were pretty strong there late in the going. You were even in the lead a couple times. Was it ever on your mind there that you'd be coming home third at the end of this race?
No, towards the end of the race, I thought I was already in the back, and then there was obviously that one big wreck. I kind of avoided it, so I got to pass a lot of cars easily. So I was put back in 10th place, and I go, well, this restart here, 10th place is not too bad outside. And I had a good, nice run coming out of the corner, and I said, well, I'm going to start the third. Laps are counting down, and I actually had somebody come and follow me, so that was a good thing. And then there was a late wreck, but there was no caution at the white flag, and that kind of separated the field. So it was just like 5 or 6 of us up here.
Well, congrats on the third place finish. Before we let you go tonight, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, the Delco boys, Zach, Steve, I think Cody was in there, and Jackson Holbrook too. So it was fun racing with them. Glad we made some money tonight.
All right, congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. Your third place finisher, Vicente Guerrero in the 14 truck. Let's move on to second place finisher, Michael Triscaro. Michael, you got a copy?
I do, man. How you doing?
Good. I'll tell you what, each race I see you in, you keep getting better and better by, huge margins. Tonight, at the end there, boy, you looked like the best pusher, and sure enough, you were able to keep the 77 out in front. Were you thinking about trying to make a move on him there at the end?
Absolutely not, man. We do these races, and I see a lot of guys just want to try to win every race, and sometimes you just have to push and let the chips fall where they may. So that's kind of what I did. But real quick, the best part of this night, and everyone that was driving tonight knew it, but I coached wrestling all day long, got out of the tournament late, told Jimmy, hey, I might make it. I probably can't qualify. On my way home, my wife called me and said, hey, I'm at my mom's house, and I got our kid, he's been sick. We're just going to stay here tonight. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to be able to make this race. I got pulled over about a mile from my house, told the cop that my son is sick, so I got out of that and made it here just in time. Didn't even qualify, started 30-something, came through the field, took second, man. What a freaking night. I love this stuff, man. I appreciate everything, you guys broadcasting it, Jimmy putting on the race.
Well, that might just be one of the craziest stories I've ever heard. Seems like it's a good luck charm, so I'm not saying to get pulled over every week, but it seems like you may have found something with it. Is there anyone else you'd like to thank or shout out before we let you go?
Yes, my wife, she has worked her ass off all day, too. She's taking care of our son right now over at my mother and father-in-law's house. So, I thank her because a lot of nights she goes to bed, I race, so she lets me do this thing, and it's a good time, so I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That was your second place finisher, Michael Triscaro in the 34 truck. And it looks like your race winner has not shown up, unfortunately. It would be Ryan Deschette. And we are not seeing him. Can't even find him anywhere, so not sure what's going on. But either way, not going to be able to get an interview from him, unfortunately. Want to thank everybody for coming out. I don't think we missed any keys. I hope everybody did enjoy it. Don't forget, Ghost Racing Network going to be back here in just a little bit, about just under an hour and a half for the bigger race tonight. That is going to be over in Ian Martin's ISSL League. Make sure you stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you all there. Thanks for coming out. Have a good one.